how much money do you actually need to live an amazing life, for you to be able to do the work that you want, to be able to like truly give and to be able to leave the world a better place than you left it. If you hate money, then this episode is likely not for you. Or maybe it actually really is for you, because see, not long ago, I was sleeping on a couch and my wife was pregnant with our first child, just weeks away from being born, and I was halfway across the globe from where they were. I was in Dubai trying to set up a new business. And what was happening was I was a personal trainer back in Sydney at the time, but I was feeling completely burnt out. And I was in what I call now the time for money trap. And I had the opportunity come up. And so I sold my house, I sold my car, I gave all my clients away. And with my wife 6 months pregnant, I had 3 months to get to Dubai, set up a new business, have everything up and running, fly back to Sydney in time for my wife to give birth, for us all to move back to Dubai together. And the entire time, I had this echoing question ringing in my ears, which was, can I give them the life that they want? To be real, I was chasing money. I was thinking that that was the thing that was going to equal a great life and like me feeling good about myself. And inside me was a call to not just secure our financial future, but to break free from the constraints, the doubts, and I really think the societal molds that to me just felt wrong. And it's now after having dozens and dozens of conversations with highly successful men that I know that I'm not the only one to have this inexpressible need. But how many of us truly understand what this drive actually is inside of us? Because I think at the heart of every man striving for contentment, it's not the pursuit of accolades or pleasures. I think it's about attaining what I call the 5 essential freedoms. But I'm only going to talk about one of those freedoms today, because these freedoms are, to me, the bedrock of what a life fulfilled with true happiness and fulfillment has. Yeah, I know that's a bold statement for me to make, but stick with me till the end, because I want you to see why I'm so confident in saying this. Because I used to be that dude where I would say that freedom is so important to me, it's my strongest value, but I couldn't define it in a way that I felt like was actually like really graspable and palpable for me. So for me, I now use 2 definitions or perceptions of freedom, so it actually helps me actually make better, smarter, the righter choices in life. So firstly, I differentiate freedom from freedom and Freiheit. So freedom with the ending DOM is, to me, this is the freedom that comes from external sources. So when I have the time and the money and the business and the things that I need to be able to go and do and live the way that I want, the external freedom. Freiheit, coming from the German word, that to me is the internal freedom. This is the sense of peace and equanimity that ultimately I actually am looking for. It's not the external things that directly correlate and give me the inner peace feeling that I want. So I was able to kind of understand myself and the world and what I was actually doing when I understood, yes, I need and I want, or maybe I don't need, but I want, and I think it makes it a hell of a lot easier when there is the external freedom, the external sources that give me what I want. But ultimately what I'm looking for is that internal peace, that Freiheit that I'm feeling. But then as well, it's freedom, but it's freedom from suffering. It's freedom from suffering. And today I believe that to be able to live a life that like resonates with meaning and vitality, it involves piecing together these 5 freedoms. But with us, it needs to be able to start with financial freedom. I think true freedom is downstream from financial freedom. And as a father, I have 4 beautiful daughters, and I've been in a marriage for over 12 years now, and I've gone through profound, and I've gone through both the highs and profound lows. And the peace and confidence that I feel today is in really stark contrast to the days when I was wrestling with depression and suicidal thoughts and anxiety. Those moments when I doubted if even such peace was ever possible for me. Because I'm grateful to be able to have these conversations with many highly successful men, because there's a striking commonality that kept emerging. Behind the glitter and achievements and the accolades there lies a deeper, more profound yearning. And it's the freedom to be able to live authentically, to cherish moments without constraint, to pursue your passions without like shadowing regret in every single step. And so for me, for a man to be successful, it's not being one-dimensional. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, I'm not impressed by a dude that just earns great money or has a thriving business. I want to know what they are. I want to know, are they in integrity? Do they actually have peace and love and happiness and integrity throughout their family, their relationships, their health? And do they actually have inner peace? The multi-dimensional man, that is the one that impresses me. But the man who has really tasted real success that I've spoken with, they understand it's not about the number of zeros in the bank account, and it's not about the square footage of your house or the brand of the car that you're driving. It's about the quality that those zeros or that house or those cars actually give you. It's the memories made in your mansion. It's the journey that you embark on that's actually in that car. It's the person that you have had to become to be able to have that. But this is where I used to kind of like be really self-righteous, if I could shoot myself in the foot right now, because I was status signaling and kind of like being spiritually malaligned, which is why I ask you, do you have fuck you money? Because right now I've got over 2 years worth of living expenses just sitting in a bank account. And I know that on paper, it makes no sense to have cash, that much cash, just sitting there, not doing anything when it could be invested somewhere else. But for me, fuck you money isn't about arrogance or flaunting wealth. It's a signal to yourself of financial independence. It's a testament to your personal empowerment, and it symbolizes like an unyielding strength to stand on your ground and to be able to have undeniable freedom for you to choose your own path. Because I've been there before. And if you've ever run your own business for any length of time, you've probably been there too, where you've signed on a client and felt this gut-wrenching sensation that you've just sold your soul. You know that you shouldn't have signed that client on, but you did it because you really needed the money. And you've not feeling the alignment that you really need to, and it's drained your passion. And those demands that sap your energy, the clients who don't value your expertise, or the projects that are just erode your soul bit by bit, I want you to now imagine having financial freedom. No, I want you now to imagine having a financial cushion so robust that you could politely decline those clients, and for you to be able to stay aligned with your core beliefs without the constant worry of where your next payment's going to come from. That's the power of fuck you money. This isn't just about being picky with clients. Like life, especially in the entrepreneurial world, it's unpredictable. It's full of financial ebbs and flows and ups and downs and market uncertainties and unexpected challenges. The way it shows up in life is the way I found really amazing, is when you have the ability to make a decision from a place of strength, by saying what it is that you want and what's most joyful to you, what's most profound to you, what it is the most you want to be able to do, and being able to make decisions from that place, you see the world very differently. And that's why having fuck you money isn't just smart, I think it's borderline essential. See, you have to understand that back in 2014, online coaching was still in its infancy. It wasn't recognized as a popular choice or thing to be able to do today. At the start of this episode, I was telling you how I went from Sydney to Dubai. And well, it was after 2 years of being in Dubai that I burnt out again. And this is when I finally took the plunge and I did what I wanted to do, which is I started my first online coaching business. And naturally, I was kind of went between these two different sides. I was crippled with self-doubt, not knowing if it was actually going to work or not, to the other side feeling super energized with this vision of a thriving business and the freedom that it could give me and my family. But what happened was, when I started the online business, I completely quit personal training in face-to-face. I blundered big time. I made a mistake that seriously nearly ruined everything and like obliterated our finances. So it was just after 2 weeks of being in our new Bali villa, moving to Bali, and I remember our lounge room had just a TV and 2 beanbags. What happened was I started to get clients drop off. And the issue is they weren't the ideal fit for online coaching. And it was my prowess that was like in the physical gym that wasn't translating effectively to my online programs. I just wasn't as good as I needed to be back then, to be perfectly honest. I was pretty shit. And then suddenly I was then like gripped by anxiety and a sense of failure, because it wasn't actually long after that I had my first anxiety attack where I literally thought I was about to drop dead because I thought I was just having a heart attack. But see, it was the dream of financial independence, of being able to provide for my family, that started to feel like it was slipping through my fingers. And so when you think of financial security as a foundation to your house, where the walls, the windows, the roof, everything's beautifully defined with the finest materials, but if you don't have a sturdy foundation on that entire structure, even the slightest tremors can just bring everything down and can cause angst and worry and fear and those not good feels that you want. Because financial freedom isn't about hoarding money, but it's about harnessing its potential. It's the reason why I share this, is because I don't agree with so many people that they say like, oh, money's the root of all evil. Or to the spiritual crowd, they say that, oh, money's not important, and they renounce that desire. No, money isn't the thing that equals a great life, but it helps you do things that you can't do. And I truly believe as well, it gives you the ability to give more to the world. I can give more to the world when my cup is full and taken care of. Now, there's obviously an element of taking the piss, where it's like, how much money do you actually need? So the question of like, what is enough? That's a very important question. How much money do you actually need to live an amazing life, for you to be able to do the work that you want, to be able to like truly give, and to be able to leave the world a better place than you left it? Most commonly, that number is actually far less than what you probably think it was. Because I used to be a shitty dad when I was encapsulated by scarcity and fear, because I was trying to work my ass off to be able to provide for my family. Where today, my version of a rich life means that I'm being able to like enjoy meals with family and friends, and I can pay for the bill without a second thought. It's actually not that much. Have you subscribed? If not, this is the best time for you to subscribe, whether you're on the YouTube or on the podcast. Why? Because it would be a bummer if you missed out on everything that's to come, or don't subscribe if you're not actually getting much value out of this, because there is a zillion other things that you could be doing. So I'd rather you go and do that. The ball's in your court. And when I was able to then recognize the difference between making money and building wealth, that was really important, because for me, my wealth building strategy, it's pretty simple. Step number one, I build multiple businesses to be able to have profit shares in all, to have a constant stream of cash flow. I drive profits in each of those businesses because that's the game I enjoy and that's the skill set that I have. Third, I invest those profits into boring stuff. I then make sure that I live, and us as a family live below our means, so we're not spending more than we're bringing in. Then I want to have a flywheel from the profits that are coming in to be able to continue to acquire more revenue generating assets. And then I just want to be able to maintain this momentum relentlessly. And then I just want to enjoy life and bask in the freedom. Like, that's it. And as dull as this looks, it's the blueprint for a freedom-fueled financial powerhouse, which is what I'm doing. And I don't think I'm that clever when it comes to it. I think I'm just borderline numbnuts when it comes to it. I'm a meathead, but it's this little insight that I was able to have, and why I live the life that I do today is built off that wealth building strategy. Because when done right, with the time on your side, you'll see in your assets actually churn out cash. And this cash turns into be able to buy more assets that continue to create that perpetual growth cycle. And the magic doesn't happen overnight. This is a game of patience. It is a game of discipline. It is a game of consistency. And that's why I think so many people don't follow it. They lack the strength of character to be able to follow it. Because there is no way that I could talk about all of this without talking about the invisible scorecard. Because these are the true signifiers of success and happiness and fulfillment. Because one of my best friends, James, that we've done podcasts quite literally in this room, and I highly recommend you go check those episodes out. we're on one of our weekly bro dates, coffee and sparkling waters together. And sitting in a cafe, we joke about how us rich guys drink sparkling water. For both of us, we ride these doing $5 a day scooters. There's no sound of a roaring Lamborghini pulling up into the parking lot. And it's just two barefoot dudes that have done a decent job at harmonizing between internal and external scorecards. Because how we measure our success and contentment is deeply woven into our perception of self-worth and self-accomplishment. Because on one hand, we have internal scorecards that are deeply personal, they're introspective metrics that can reflect our values, they reflect our aspirations, they reflect our emotional well-being. And those scorecards, they're not flaunted, but they're felt. They're not broadcasted, they're internalized. And these are the silent markers of our personal growth, the joy in our relationships, and the peace that's in our hearts. Because on the other hand, we have the encounter with those external scorecards, the tangible, often like the flashy indicators of success. From the luxury cars to the watches on our wrists to the houses that we buy, these outward symbols are frequently seeking external validation, and they're often caught in the ever-changing whirlwind of society trends and opinions of other people that you don't even know of. And the problem is with that, while both of those scorecards play a role in shaping our lives, it's essential to recognize the distinct nature between the two. Because one of those offers a deep, enduring satisfaction of rooted in your authenticity and be able to help you live a life that you feel proud of. And you being able to, I think about death and I go, well, when I'm lying on my deathbed, what am I going to be proud of? What is it that I want to know is true in my heart? What is it that I'm going to be upset about that I did or not did? And that's where I want to be able to make the right decisions today. That's what I think is really important. That's why I actually really wanted to share this episode with you, because one may flaunt wealth, with the traditional luxury stuff, but at their core, there is two sides of the same coin, each hoping to be able to carve out an identity or recognition in society. We're all playing those status games. You can have this capitalistic pig on one side that's like having millions and millions of dollars and all of that stuff. But then you can have this spiritual person on this other side. The sackcloth and robe, and they've got the incense and I wear crystals and stuff like that too. But it's all social signaling. They're both playing the social signaling game, and they're just doing it in different ways. No one's going to win. It's not a winning game when it comes into it. So that's why I feel it's really important. What I want to share with you is true freedom is downstream from financial freedom. Why? Because you're able to take care of your needs and you're able to do what it is you're best able to do when you have a full cup. Two is being able to know what's your definition of financial freedom. This is when you have to do the deep work and actually figure this stuff out for yourself. And that took me a really long time to be able to do it, but God damn it, it was worth it. Because then three, then you can start to lay out, well, what's your plan to actually achieve that? That's when we can kind of like get in our masculine. That's when we can actually get to, all right, problem solving mode, and we can actually get at it then. Because then four, and this was the big one for me, is just because you don't have financial freedom now doesn't mean that you delay or suspend being happy or joyful. Now, I used to be too much of a serious Sam, and I was working too hard around the clock, and I was like so determined on having to achieve these goals. And I realized, like, the advice I would give myself looking back is, dude, you could have enjoyed that a hell of a lot more. So that's the advice I give myself now looking forward. So I want you to be able to feel confident and feel like it's okay for you to be able to go and create that financial freedom for yourself and to do it in the right way that's truly aligned to you. That's what I want, because I feel like the world would be a better place. Yeah, I really do. So I hope that this has been a helpful episode for you. If you have any questions at all, or if you have other questions or topics that you want me to answer in upcoming episodes, then please put them into the YouTube comments. I'd love to hear from you so I can be able to do the next episodes, literally answering and helping you with what it is that you have. And if you haven't liked or subscribed, then do that, because, do you know what I mean? Babies cry more if you don't subscribe to this channel, and that's never a good thing. And what would make me really happy is for you to then just go and actually use this stuff. I'm not here for entertainment, clearly. I'm here to be able to share with you what's worked and not worked for me, for you to be able to avoid my mistakes, and for you to be able to live a life that you are truly proud of. That's ultimately the thing that's going to light me up, and that's what I want for you. If you've enjoyed this episode and it's vibed with you, then make sure that you hit subscribe, whether you're on the YouTube or on the podcast. And importantly, if there is any guests that you want me to have on the show, or specific questions or topics that you want me to be able to cover for you, simply put it into the YouTube comments or send me an Instagram DM. That way I can make sure you're getting the most out of actually being here.